I'm your local high school dropout. It is day 7, actually day 8. This is the 7th video of our Garden Anywhere by Anyone video series. It's day 8 and we have 12 days left to Mother's Day. Like I said, these videos are going to get a little monotonous, but we're going to check on the 2 smaller piles that we added to yesterday. You know, the one with the by hand method, which is the smaller one that didn't really retain much water, so we'll check up on that one and see how it went today. Today it was only about 60 degrees, so a little cooler than it was yesterday, but it was full sun, so we'll see how the 2 piles went. And then check on the other low-tech method pile, which is actually with the scissors, the trimmers, all that sort of thing, just anything low-tech that you can do by hand. And then of course we have our long compost berm, and we won't really look at that one till it's right before Mother's Day or at Mother's Day and see how it composted. I'm going to take you foraging with me because the amount of organic matter that I put there in the garden bed wasn't enough. I don't think is enough from yesterday to actually get a full 10 minutes in of chopping it up by the by hand method and the low-tech method. So I'll just show you, take you around, and show you what I do when I go foraging. This is my little foraging bucket. I have the scissors here, the little pruners here, and the snips here. Of course, you can also just do things by hand. And I just walk around this complex. Once again, thanks to everybody in this complex for letting us use this as a demonstration garden bed, and look for just things that are laying around. Grabbing leaves. That stuff's good because it's already dead and dry. No one ever gets mad if you pull weeds. Pine needles and such are great. They have a little bit of acid in them. Sticks. Trying to find a little more greens. Pull a few more dandelions here. So a nice mix of green and brown. Hopefully I'm in the camera shot now. Just dumping that in our foraging pile, and we're gonna go by hand in this pile here, and with all the scissors, take a quick look at the pile, see how well it retained water. Of course, it was a cooler day, so it's obviously going to mean less evaporation, but also it had full sun, so that can mean more evaporation. So we'll just look and see. We also have bigger piles in both these piles than we did yesterday. So when you do go foraging for organic matter, you do want to make sure that you have at least some understanding or control of what is being used. You don't really want really harsh chemical fertilizers or herbicides being used, or even pesticides. I have checked in with the complex here, so I know that nothing too crazy is being used. They do actually use some fertilizers, but it's an organic fertilizer spread that they spread on the lawn. Let's look into the pile. See this right here? We have a worm, so that's good. We got a worm, at least one worm in there. That's figuring that there's enough here. We're starting to see a little bit of a breakdown here. So there's one worm right in there, smaller worm, and cool. Let's cover that back up. They're liking what's going on in there to a degree. Let's go check out the other pile. This is the low-tech pile, and we'll dig down in here. I don't really see any worms or life. It's definitely retaining water. You know, nice wet spot there. But so in some ways, the other pile at least has one worm in there. We'll put this all back and start chopping for 10 minutes or so. Okay, 10 minutes starting now. We're going to go by hand. Okay, that's 10 minutes here. I have added a bunch of pine needles and kind of chopped them up there to add a little bit more dry organic matter. Cool thing about pine needles is they break apart really easily. You know, you can see just snap, snap, snap. Bad thing about them is they're kind of sharp, so I don't know if you see, where's the camera? Somewhere around there. Like, you will get cut, especially when you're doing stuff by hand. So that's one of just the bad things in general about doing things by hand. And that's why I think humans have invented tools. All right, now we'll just do 10 minutes over on the other side, and at least got some more brown stuff in the mix there. Okay, this pile's coming along nicely. You know, we got some good green in there yesterday, so I'm gonna just do a little bit of both today. Okay, that's what we were able to get done and accomplished. Again, I just mixed a little bit of the browns with the greens, trying to get some both carbon and nitrogen. Wood will leach nitrogen out, so when you do put wood in your compost, just try to put an abundance of nitrogen, and that's, you know, typically brown and green. So if there's a lot of green stuff, it typically is higher in nitrogen. But there is that. Now we're just going to work 20 minutes on the compost berm from the shredded material from Reframe Events, and call it a day for today.